The AI video landscape is evolving at lightning speed, and in this video, I'm putting 4 of the most talked about text-to-video generative models head to head. Will they all deliver high-quality video? Does one of them come out a clear winner above the others? Let's find out.
It's time for the show to begin.
So I've come up with 7 text prompts. With each prompt, I'll generate videos using Hailuo 2, Kling 2.1, Seedance 1.0, and Veo 3. And you can find links in this video's description that will take you to websites for creating these AI video models. I'll rank the generated videos from each prompt from 1st to 4th place and award points based on the rankings. At the end, I'll add up the points and name an overall winner. I'll be judging the videos based on how closely the prompts are followed and the overall cinematic quality of the videos. Well, my first prompt is a short one. Close-up of an old-time magician making a fireball appear in his hands. I'll start with the video from Hailuo, and it looks really good. Overall, the fireball comes across as a nice effect. The glow on the magician's fingers as the ball grows really sells the effect. I like the shallow depth of field and the slow zoom in, and the magician himself is not bad. We don't get a strong sense of him as a character since his face is out of focus, but he fits the bill. Alright, next is Kling, and I really like the magician himself. The fireball effect is less impressive though. Now, even though the fire quickly disappears, the effect is still really good. The way it lights the magician's face is very well done, and his little look to the camera at the end of the video clip helps to sell the idea of him conjuring this fire as part of his magic act. Alright, now let's look at Seedance. The features in the image do look very realistic, but the fireball isn't as impressive to me. It technically is a ball of fire, but not quite what I wanted. The lighting is a bit more generic, and there's only a very small sense of the fire lighting the magician's hands. So the fire doesn't look as natural to the scene as in the other 2 clips. And 4th is Veo 3, and I really like how the fireball appears in this clip. It does feel like the magician is actually performing a magic trick here. His purple outfit works, and overall he looks very realistic. The only thing that would have been better is if the fireball appeared below his face, or if the camera was positioned where we could see both of his eyes with the fireball. Overall, a good start for all 4 videos. Scoring them, I'll have to put Veo 3 in 1st place, Kling in 2nd, Hailuo in 3rd, and Seedance in 4th. Next, I have a prompt with a cheetah chasing a gazelle across a sun-baked savanna. In this prompt, I've included camera movements and explained some of the actions for the animals. I also included the sentence cinematic realism style to help the model know that I want the video to have a realistic look. With the Hailuo clip, both animals and the landscape do look very realistic. The way the animals run is very natural, and the camera action works as well. But as I'm sure you've already noticed, the cheetah runs past the gazelle, and for a second it almost looks like the gazelle is chasing the cheetah, or that they're just running around together. The clip generated by Kling fares a little better, as the cheetah chases the gazelle throughout the video, and the gazelle does a little dodge move near the end, which I wanted to happen. Now, for the last second or so, both animals do slow down as if they've completed the task for the video, but there's definitely some usable footage in this clip. The clip from Seedance came out as slow motion, and again the visuals of the 2 animals and the landscape look good, but the way the cheetah is chasing the gazelle isn't the most dramatic looking. It comes across as too playful, and while the gazelle does try a dodge move, it moves more towards the cheetah than away from it. The Veo 3 clip definitely feels the most intense, with the camera following along as the cheetah runs at high speed, chasing its prey. The gazelle is trying to get away, but we don't get a good dodge move, and the overall detail and crispness of the image is not as high as the other 3 clips. So for this cheetah prompt, I'm putting Kling in 1st place for doing the best job with the prompt, Veo 3 in 2nd, Seedance in 3rd, and Hailuo in 4th. For the 3rd prompt, I have a young woman in a white dress standing on a rooftop with a city skyline behind her. She brushes windblown hair from her face and squints towards the horizon. The camera dollies in slowly, and I've set the scene at sunset. And Hailuo gets most everything right. The sunset looks good, the woman in the white dress looks very realistic with the wind blowing around, and there's a nice lens flare added which properly goes away once the woman gets in between the sunlight and the camera. Moving to Kling, the camera is moving away from the woman when it should be moving in, and to get real picky, the dress isn't completely white. But other than that, this video looks extremely real. The subtle movements of the woman, the way she takes a breath, the way the sun is lighting the hair on her arm, the folds in her dress, this is top tier. The Seedance clip also excels here, as we get a nice camera move towards the woman and get more of the city activity included in the shot. Great lighting, the wind blowing the woman's hair is realistic, and here we get the woman looking towards the horizon. Veo 3 also turns out a solid result. The lighting of the sunset, the skyline in the background, the woman brushing her hair away in the wind, all very well done. If I was to come up with one issue, it's that the woman doesn't look quite as real as the other three. I really want to rank Kling number 1 here, but because it got the camera move wrong, I think Seedance gets the top spot, then Kling, Hailuo in 3rd, and Veo 3 in the 4th spot. Next, we get back into more action with a snowboarder gliding over fresh snow with controlled turns, accelerating gradually down the slope, and the camera moves alongside. Again, starting with Hailuo, we get a very smooth video. The turns the snowboarder makes and the way the snow kicks up into the air looks very natural. The movements of the snowboarder are very fluid, and the mountain landscape in the background is a nice touch. The result with Kling is also very good. The snowboarder is moving back and forth nicely, the landscape fits in extremely well, and the lighting looks good. This one though just doesn't seem quite as sharp. The snowboarder looks a little jittery at certain points, and right at the beginning there's an unnatural plume of snow that kicks up. But this clip is still decent. Seedance is also a pretty good clip. The camera tracks along with the snowboarder nicely, giving a good sense of speed. The surroundings are nicely detailed, and the way the snow kicks up looks good. But the snowboarder goes into a slowing down position rather than cutting back and forth. Veo 3 also has its pros and cons. Nice setting high in the mountains, nice sense of speed with the snowboarder, but his movements don't quite seem right at certain moments. And there's one big dust up of snow that completely covers the snowboarder about halfway through, which just looks a little odd. So the physics with the Veo 3 clip are a little bit more off the mark than the other three. So for number 4, first place goes to Hailuo, second to Kling, third to Seedance, fourth to Veo 3. The next prompt will challenge the 4 AI generators at creating a realistic looking battle between 2 gladiators. I've described details like a shield deflecting a short sword as an excited crowd watches. The overall setting of the Hailuo video isn't half bad. The appearance of the 2 gladiators and the crowd behind work really well. The camera movement adds to the action, and the gladiators' footwork and general movements are believable, but the sword fight is pretty poor. With Kling, the sword fighting is a little better, but the clip looks more like a video game, and there's no camera movement. The Seedance video has a more realistic feel, at least as far as the look of the gladiators is concerned, and the subtle camera movement works well, but their battle is the worst one yet, and the spectators in the stands look like a modern crowd of people watching some kind of reenactment. Moving to Veo 3, this comes out pretty solid. The action with the sword fight, especially compared to the other 3, is really good. The first second or so may seem a little awkward, but after that, the clash between the 2 comes out reasonably well. The wardrobe and the arena setting also turned out nicely. Again, one thing that you get with some of the Veo 3 clips is the image sharpness is not the greatest. But for this prompt, Veo 3 is definitely first. Hailuo in second, Kling in third, and Seedance in fourth. This next prompt takes us on the road, showcasing a motorcyclist in a matte black suit and visor helmet. I've described a setting on a rain-slick mountain road at twilight, leaning hard into a curve, and that the camera tracks closely from behind at a low angle. The Hailuo clip is okay. The look of the motorcyclist is good, as is the highway setting, but the physics of the motorcycle's turn and the way the rainwater is flying up behind the bike isn't the best. Now I also wanted the camera to track from behind at a low angle, and here the camera is in front. Kling had the same camera issue, tracking from the front instead of from behind. Now, looking closer at the bike, it actually appears like the back of the motorcycle with the red light is at the front, but everything else like the handles are front facing. So a little strange design, and the image is a little like a video game. Moving to the Seedance video, once again the camera is in front, and like the Hailuo clip, we again have more of a slow motion feel, but I still get a sense of speed from this one. The motorcyclist is leaning into the turn nicely, even if he does hold the turn for a little too long. And all the elements in the clip look good, except for the way the water splashes from the ground. Now to Veo 3, which again does the best job with this prompt. I finally get a clip from behind the motorcycle, and the movements of the motorcycle are in general good. There's a good sense of speed, there's a nice stormy setting that fits with the rain-soaked road, and when the water sprays up from behind the tire, Veo 3 doesn't overdo the effect. Just a subtle amount of water flying towards the camera. So again, it's Veo 3 in the number 1 spot, Seedance in 2, Kling at 3, and Hailuo at 4. And for the last prompt, we're going with a festival setting. The camera moves through a crowded festival with handheld motion, weaving between laughing people, spinning lights, and sudden bursts of fireworks above. There's an organic shakiness as the camera shifts to catch different moments in the crowd. So the festival setting with Hailuo is pretty good. Definitely lots of atmosphere, nice fireworks. The camera movement is a bit limited though. With Kling, a similar issue with the camera movement. It's not weaving through the crowd, it's more panning around to reveal the crowd. Also, the image quality is a bit low with this one. Seedance does a pretty good job here, moving through the crowd, showing the fireworks in the background, good sharpness to the image, and the physics come out nicely. And Veo does an interesting job mixing a festival atmosphere with a carnival, highlighting different parts of the crowd, and then shifting to the fireworks. But once again, we're not getting crisp and clear faces in the crowd, and there's a bit of weird morphing in a couple of spots. So this last prompt has Seedance at number 1, Hailuo in 2nd, Veo 3 in 3rd, and Kling in 4th. So after going through 7 prompts and adding up the scores, the results are in. In 4th place with 16 points is Hailuo 2. In 3rd place with 17 points is Seedance 1.0. In 2nd place is Kling 2.1 with 18 points, and coming in 1st place with 19 points, Veo 3. Now, even though Veo 3 came out in 1st place in my little competition, it definitely was close between all 4 of these AI video models. They can all produce very high quality videos, and there are other factors to consider like cost, with Veo 3 being the most expensive, and the other 3 being a similar price per video in services like OpenArt. Again, check out the links in the description to get a better sense of current pricing. If you want to learn more about generating AI content, you can watch more of my videos here. Thanks for watching.